Alrighty, hello everybody guys, welcome back to another Crystalline video. Today we are playing a live video, meaning that we are live over on our Twitch. Be sure to go follow me on there. But to see the full series, you guys should be subscribed to the YouTube. And this is a message for the Twitch viewers. If you guys are not subscribed to YouTube, please go over and subscribe so you guys can see the exclusive full series. We are starting pretty much a decent chunk of the way into the game, but if you guys want to see the start of the game and the end of the game, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we're only really doing one of these live videos for this game. But as long as you're here, have fun. But let's get right back into it. We were supposed to ask Kara about some stuff, I believe. I followed stuff with Kara. So what exactly were the Vestins?
They were the original tribe of Ember Mist, and the initial keepers of the Fire Temple.
Ah! Did they build the temple? Kara shrugs.
Depends on who you ask. Some experts believe they did. Others think the temple was already there by the time the Vestins came about.
Ah. Interesting. Now I'm curious. How did you get into treasure hunting? She pauses a little too long before flashing me the usual cheerful grin.
I just sort of fell into it, honestly. Treasure
She's
hunting
lying to
naturally
me.
fit into my nomadic lifestyle.
Oh, that makes sense. Where did you learn all the history to identify relics?
You'd be surprised how much you pick up along the way, especially after you realize what a lucrative business this can be.
That is fair assumptions. So you're just in it for the money?
I didn't say that. I'll admit that at first I was just in it for the money. But the more I learned about the ancient people of Asaria, the more invested I became in the history of each relic I found.
Huh.
I started to find myself daydreaming about who might have used the items I found. What kind of person were they? Did they...
Oh, I clicked a little too fast. My bad. That's a cool way of thinking like it. I never thought of it about like that. Maybe if I had, I would have paid more attention in history class. Carl looks at me strangely.
Are you a treasure hunter too?
No.
But you sought out experts dedicated to history?
Something like that. It was less me seeking it out and more of a requirement I had to fulfill. Carl looks skeptical but doesn't pry. I'll move on. I don't really feel like talking to Amelia. You stay silent as we walk, each of us preoccupied with our own thoughts. Kara, Zack, and Amelia lead the way back to Ember Mist while I lag behind. The pongo sits on my head. Leah notices my absence and follows in a step with me. She pats the pongo, who ignores her, still focused on the energy around me. Leanna pouts and shakes away the pongo's disregardance of her and focuses attention on me.
Something on your mind?
I drop my voice low so the others can't hear me. Now that I've collected the energy from the temple, does that mean I can try to recreate a temporal rift and go back home, right? Kara stops, then rolls around to face me. Zack and Amelia stop with her.
Pardon me, you were speaking very softly and it was a little hard to hear, but it sounded like you just said you need to open a temporal rift to go back home?
No, I did not say that at all. You're hearing things, ma'am.
That can't be right, can it?
No, you're right. It's not right. Jesus, woman has some supersonic hearing. I glance at Leanne, who looks alarmed. About that. Kara's smile falters at my hesitation, but Amelia looks excited.
I knew it. My hypothesis is correct.
Don't hurt me, please.
My hypothesis that he is from a parallel world.
You know what? She's right. Leanne's eyes go wide and she focuses on him. She forces a panicked smile.
I think all this parallel world and temporal rift talk has been getting to you. I mean, Elder Isum said it's impossible. He has already admitted it.
What? I have? When? Leanna and I have been careful not to say anything. When?
The day of our acquaintance.
I racked my brain, which is really hard to do, but I don't remember bringing up that around Amelia.
You sought out Professor Xavier's guidance, and after he imparted his advice, you and Leanna had a brief discussion in which you mentioned that what he had suggested was exactly what happened to you. Thus began my hypothesis that you arrived from a parallel world.
Leanna looks at me, unsure how to react. Hey, come clean. Fuck it. Yeah, you know it. I guess there's no point denying it now. If our game of cheat is any indication, Amelia can see right through a lie. You're right. I'm not from Terra.
Not from Terra, huh?
Listen, Zach, buddy, you and me, man, we can still be friends. Zach looks me up and down and then nods to
It's a
himself.
lot better than the alternative.
What's the alternative?
But you might be unique.
Zach!
He
He
shrugs.
hasn't heard of a lot of things everyone in his area would know about. Like the elementals.
I thought you didn't believe in the
I
elementals.
don't. But I still know of them. At least if he's from another world, that explains why he didn't know these things.
Fair enough. Carl looks skeptical.
How did he get here?
Portal.
There have been unexplainably high concentrations of energy popping up throughout Isaria, and he happened to show up at one of those areas. We went to the Mage Academy to get some answers, and that's how we came up with the possibility that the high energy readings were temporal rifts, and somehow he had traveled through one. Why or how those rifts were even opened, we still don't know.
But if they're the only way for me to get back home, then I have to try and open one. Carl
Let's
shrugs.
just make sure you attempt to open one far away from where I'm standing.
You know what? You're absolutely right, and I will.
That might be tricky considering no one knows how to open one. We may need to talk to Elder Isum.
Again?
That won't be necessary. I know how to do so already.
Amelia, what the fuck are you hiding from me? We all stay out here. How do you know that?
Directions are located in Elder Ism's old research notes, which I had gathered from the Academy. The spell itself is a simple conjuration, which even an amateur could do.
Oh! An amateur can open a temporal rift? Then why isn't everyone doing
The
it?
possibility of the spell comes from the fact that the human body cannot manipulate the amount of energy needed for it.
Oh. She pauses and points to
He
me.
may be an exception.
Awesome! I squirm slightly as her gaze falls on
Given
me.
that you have absorbed energy directly from the temple, which should also be an impossibility, I must assume that there is something within you which can possess the high amount of magic without suffering consequences. Perhaps it is a skill which you acquired from your world.
My world doesn't have magic, though. Amelia blinks.
Regardless, only a short amount of time has passed. There is plenty of time for you to still internally combust.
Of course you want me to blow up. A whiff of uneasiness makes my stomach quease. Maybe I should open up the rift now before that has a chance to happen? Amelia grunts
I
excitement.
concur with that suggestion.
That may be the best now that you have the magic.
Zach shrugs and Carl takes a look at the open surroundings.
Maybe we should first look for a spot with a bit more cover. We don't want to be opening up rifts on an open pathway.
Good point.
She's right.
There was some tree cover towards the west.
We muddle over our affirmations and follow Zach to the trees. We settle into the grove of trees. Both Leanna and Amelia stand on either side of me. Zach selects a tree far enough away to not be affected by any stray magic, but close enough to get a good view of me blowing up, possibly. Carl, on the other hand, hangs back towards the outskirts of the trees. Zach looks back at her, and amused smile on his lips.
You'll miss the show from back there. You sure you don't want to come any closer?
Kyle's voice is distant. There's a bit of movement as she takes another step back behind a tree. Let's move a little closer. There's no way she can see anything from there. I can barely see her. I take a few steps closer to Carl.
Stop right there.
But you can't see anything from there.
On the contrary, I can see all I need from here.
Fair
We
enough!
can at least see if other people will stumble upon us from there.
Well, I was trying to move closer just so if I blow up, she's going with
Oh,
me.
yeah, a lookout. That's exactly what I meant.
I know exactly what
I'm
you
sure it
mean.
has nothing to do with her wanting to stay out of the splash zone.
Lena furrows her brow.
Coral rifts don't splash.
But I do!
No, but people do.
Zach!
He looks innocent. Lena frowns. Alright, here we go. I'm about to blow up. Amelia studies the notes and then nods to herself and snaps the book shut.
Casting is quite simple. It is the same technique as any other cast.
Lena looks at
Are
me.
you ready?
I nod. Amelia glances at my stance, then
Your
frowns.
stance is incorrect. Straighten your spine.
Okay, I look at my spine and stay as straight as I
Now
can.
you are too tense. Keep yourself relaxed, but do not slump.
Oh, dear lord. Okay. I lose some of the tension in my back. She's about to speak again, but Lena gently pulls him into the side.
Okay, I think he gets it.
She steps in front of me and gives me a encouraging
Your
smile.
stance is fine. Just remember to raise your arms in front of you.
I do as she says and she
Now,
nods.
the actual casting part is gonna sound tricky. You'll need to focus your mind on the spell you want to cast.
So I should think about temporal rifts?
Yes, but you need to connect that thought with the magical energy. Clear your mind of every thought.
Close my eyes and push all the way with my doubts and confusion and focus on Leanna's
Now,
voice.
think about the rift that you wish to create.
I imagine tearing a hole in the fabric of reality. I don't know exactly what a rift would look like or feel like. All I remember is a bright light. Should I focus on the light?
At the same time, sense for the magic within you.
I can't feel without magic. How can I have magic inside me? For like Christ's sake, Leanna. Come on! My hair's falling down my face. Shit. Anyway, I try to sense for any kind of magic, but feel nothing out of the ordinary. How do I know when there's magic?
It'll feel like a tendril or willing warmth. When you find it, reach out for it and grab hold. The magic is eager to be used and will latch on.
I don't know what that still means, but okay. I wish women were more like magic. Oh, for me too, my guy. Anyway, let's focus on what she says. This is so abstract, but I know I can do it. I just have to focus. I turn within and regulate my breathing. This sounds very familiar to meditation, so perhaps using the same technique will yield success. And my breathing becomes slow and steady. I open up my senses for any indication of another
Once
presence.
you find the magic, connect your thoughts of the rift with the magic, and then channel both the magic and the thoughts through your hands to cast it in the open.
I keep sensing, hoping to find a hint of warmth, but how do I know if it's just my own warmth or even magic? Sweat beads on my temples as I strain the cast, but nothing happens. Eventually my arms grow weary and my mind is exhausted. I decompress with a sigh. It didn't work.
It's okay, we can try again. People aren't usually able to cast on their first try.
I mentally groan. The idea of doing this all again does not thrill me. There must be something I'm missing
It
still.
just takes some getting used to. Plus, you're trying to cast without a manipulator.
Oh yeah, you and Amelia use manipulators to cast. Maybe that's why I was able to do it?
Well, the manipulator's function is to house the energy source for us to cast with. Technically, because you already have the energy within you, you shouldn't need a manipulator.
Oh.
But this is all theory anyway. It may be easier trying to cast using a crystal, especially for a first-time caster.
Well, where the fuck do you get a crystal?
Regardless, there could be a multitude of factors for why this attempt was not successful. One for which could be as simple as the fact that you still did not possess enough energy to open the rift.
That is fair. Shouldn't the temple have had enough?
Theoretically, perhaps, but a significant portion of the energy was already being used to sustain the elemental's image.
Oh.
She was able to transfer what was left of the energy to you, which from my readings was only 20% of the total energy in the temple when we started.
Suddenly, Kara is staying beside us, as cheerful
That
as ever.
sounds like you all still need to explore some more temples.
I jump at her presence, even Leanna and Amelia seem surprised to see her so close. Only Zach isn't affected. Those two are gonna be a couple. How did you get here so fast? She grins at
Am
me.
I wrong?
The Pongo jumps out of Kara's arms and hops into mine. Yay. I pat him on the head and he wiggles, contently licking the air around me.
So it could be that he doesn't know how to cast, or that he doesn't have enough energy.
Sure, but what does that mean for you all in terms of next steps? Are you going to hang out in Ember Mist until he learns how to cast?
It could take him weeks before he can even cast the simplest of spells. That is quite a long time to rely on someone else's hospitality.
It sounds like it would still be in your best interest to visit at least one more temple just to be sure you have enough energy. You can teach him how to cast on the way, so by the time he gets there, he'll be ready to go.
Leanna looks thoughtful.
Does seem like the better option than the alternative.
Yeah. If that's the fastest way to get me back home, then I'm not opposed to having all our options and all our bases covered. Amelia nods.
That is the most efficient course of action. If we can mitigate any uncertain factors, then we can pinpoint where the weakness is and adjust accordingly for a successful cast. The research this will provide will be very informative.
I'm gonna get experimented on by Amelia. Hearing Amelia's affirmation, Zach
Since I'm
shrugs.
here to protect Amelia, I go where she goes.
No one asked you, Zack, you beautiful bastard. Kara smiles broadly and slings her arms around Zack and Amelia, much to their dismay.
Great. Then our arrangement is still on.
Okay.
Hey!
Zack moves out of Kara's grasp and she
Most
smirks.
men would be thrilled to have a pretty woman hug them. Right, Amelia?
Yes.
That is correct. A healthy physique is inherently attractive for potential mates.
Oh dear lord. Kara looks, let's go, and starts to lead the way out of the
We should
forest.
spend the night in Umber Mist. We can plan our next steps there.
Okay. Once we are in agreement, we follow Kara back to Emma-Mist. Upon arriving, we head to the inn.
We can spend the night here. I'll meet you back down in the lobby in a few minutes.
She rushes upstairs while we secure 2 rooms with the innkeeper. As we receive our keys, Amelia excuses
I wish
herself.
to seek an audience with Elder Issam and continue our discussion. I would be remiss to let such an opportunity pass.
Okay. He seems like a good guy, but maybe we keep the fact that I'm not from here a secret.
That is something in which we are in agreement.
Oh, okay. Good. I didn't know that. Why am I being left out of conversations? She nods and leaves the inn. The core of the inn is very similar to Elder Issam's hut. Pillows and rugs line the ground as a few people sit cross-legged in front of the fire. A few tables along the outer side of the lobby, all of which are empty. In fact, aside from the couple of people chatting by the fire, this place is very empty. Want to sit down, I feel a fatigue pass over me, but I try to shake it off. I guess I don't see too many visitors
For
here.
a city that's supposed to be so secret, that's not surprising. It's more surprising that they have an inn.
It is very surprising. I nod and stifle a yawn. We sit at the table as Zack orders us dinner. After a few minutes, Kara returns.
Where's Amelia?
She would speak with Elder Issam. She nods. My eyelids droop and I'm stifling yawns every few minutes. My limbs feel like lead weights on it. It's all taking all the effort for me to sit upright. After I let out a few wide yawns, Lena gives me a glance over.
Maybe you should go to bed. We're winding down anyway, so it'd be a good idea to get some rest.
I nod. Barely. That sounds good right now. I guess absorbing all that energy really takes it out of you, huh? Lena smiles at my
It
joke.
would seem so.
Regardless, I'm grateful for the excuse to leave. I try upstairs and fumble with the key before opening the door, then fall into one of the twin cots and pass out as soon as my head hits the pillow. Light filters through the window and gently puts me out of my slumber. Slowly, I push myself up in the bed and glance over to see Zack strapping on his dischargers. He knows me sit up.
Hey,
Hey,
we're meeting downstairs in a few minutes.
alright. As Zack finishes gathering his things, I begin to get ready to go downstairs. The group gathers down the lobby and I greet everyone and turn to Amelia. How was your chat with Elder Issam?
We had a very productive discussion. In fact, Elder Issam shared more of his journals with me.
She indicates the scroll in her arms. Wow, he just gave those to you?
No, these are copies I wrote to bring back with me to the academy.
God damn! We stare at Amelia. She spent all night writing those?
That's a lot of dedication.
Amelia continues.
Regardless, we discussed more on the theory of temporal rifts in the elementals, which has only strengthened my concern that we do not have enough energy.
Okay, so
That
we go.
definitely means we need to
We go
seek
to
out
seek out
another
temple. Yeah.
Do we have a lead on where to go?
Elder Issam, through his research into the elements, did mention that historically, the Gaians,
I'm
the
tired.
people who originally
I
worshipped
got
the
one more
Earth
video to record
Elemental,
after this,
used to
though.
reside in the central woodlands of Assyria.
Sorry, what?
The Kali, the people who worshipped the Wind Elemental, resided in the northern aerial plains. Therefore, it is most logical that the Earth and Wind Temple will be located in those respective regions.
What about water or shadow? She shakes her
The
head.
Aquarians, those who worshipped the Water Elemental, depended heavily on the seas. As such, Elder Issam was unable to pinpoint where the cultural hub of their society might have been. As for Shadow, that is a complete unknown.
If the Earth Temple is somewhere centrally located, then that would be the temple closest to us.
Lena
The
nods.
fastest way back will be to take the crystal rail, so we should return to Bazada.
With the next course of action in place, we finish up at the end and get ready to depart. Elder sees us off, much to the delight of Amelia. We retreat back through the forest. Lena stays by my side the whole way through, still unsettled by the forest. Luckily, nothing unfavorable happens, and we quickly make it through. As we return to Bazada, I can hear the ruckus sounds of the marketplace long before I see it. We pass through the familiar city gates and return to the early bustle of the city.
Let's pause here and take a moment to restock. There are a few items I'd like to pick up, which may be helpful.
Good idea. Why don't we all make sure we have everything we need, and then meet at the Crystal Rail station?
Yeah, we got it. So I'm a little... I still gotta do one more videos, but so I'm trying to move fast. We all agree and split up. I spent some time browsing through the stalls again. Afterwards, I head over to the station to meet back up with the group. I'm the first to arrive at the station, but Carl shows up only a few minutes later. As the rest of the team gradually trickles in, Carl appears at the station list.
The end of the line is Stonecrest, so that's where we should go. Once we arrive there, I'll scout around and find our next course of action.
We want to reach as close to Central as possible, so traveling to the end of the Crystal Rail is a good first step.
Once we head to a seam balance. Once we had a seam balance of a plan put together, we purchased our tickets. I wish I could read, but I'm starting to fall asleep like the character here. But anyway, after the train pulls into the station, we all board and begin our journey. And I forgot to do something. Fuck it. I could kill us. After traveling on the train for 2 days, we finally arrive in the city. Squint at the midday sun and join the others as we quickly disembark the train, grateful for a chance to stretch our legs.
Here we are, Stonecrest.
Kyle pulls her arms over her head and stretch, forcing her chest out. Zack's eyes are immediately drawn to her. She smirks at Zack, who quickly averts his gaze and stares hard at a random cobble on the street. The town doesn't differ too much from the other towns we've been here that we've seen so far. It is made of the same stone buildings and cobblestone paths. People wander in and out of shops going about their daily lives. The first we do is find the inn and enter. Alright, now that we're here, how do we figure out where to go next? Carla
Just
grins.
leave it to me. I'll ask around and see if I can come up with anything.
I'll keep my eyes and ears open just in case I hear something too.
Carla shakes her
You should
head.
relax and enjoy the city. I've got some contacts I'm going to reach out to, so I've got this.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
Carla
I already
nods.
have a few ideas and leads based on some of my previous scoutings for temples and hidden relics.
Okay, then let's meet back here in a few hours to regroup.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Works for me.
Mila nods
Now that we have
distractedly.
something of a plan, I'll be heading off.
Me too.
Carl and Lena leave while everyone else stirs. I don't have anything pressing to do. I wonder if I can help or hang out with someone. Alright, I think we're gonna end it here, guys. We're gonna save the game here. Safe. Come back next episode and we will hang out with some of the people. Again, if you guys aren't subscribed to YouTube, please go subscribe to the YouTube, because that's where you guys can see the next video and the rest of the series. So remember, the series is exclusive to the YouTube, so be sure to go subscribe. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and we're gonna finish up with a Theory Enigma for tonight. So yeah, peace, guys.